Does that make you rethink the way that you either go about your job or the way that you go about just handling the
Certainly, certainly. I have a cliche that the guys oftentimes throw back at me in jest, but it's true.
That there's a no trade clause in his contract. Mike Tomlin controls it. Owners aren't getting rid of him.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Shooting for the Stars podcast. You guys with y'all's one and only host, Cameron Williams. And as y'all guys can see by the title of this screen, you guys, I'm going to be bringing y'all guys a recap to this week's wildcard games this week. This one's going to be about the Steelers and Ravens recap. It's going to be real quick because it's not too much to recap. For those that watched the game, you know it was an absolute shutout. I mean, the rest was the only reason why the Steelers had 14 points because the Ravens absolutely took their foot off the gas. And first, I'm going to start off saying this. Congratulations to Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Hard-fought game. They're advancing to the divisional round this week to play the Buffalo Bills, and which is going to be a must-see game this Sunday night to conclude the divisional round. And like I said, Lamar Jackson, rightfully so. Like he's on the way. He'll be in the game where it's for the MVP grab. This game this week between the Bills and the Ravens, whoever wins that game between Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, whichever one of those two quarterbacks leads their team to victory shall win the MVP award. Not saying it, but one would think that could decide the MVP race right there. Forget the stats, forget the numbers and all that. I mean that game right there. Whoever pushes their team gives their team the ticket to advance to the AFC Championship game, that's the team that should, that's the quarterback who should win the MVP between those two quarterbacks. But with that being said, like I said, the Ravens, man, they've really came a long way. Zach Orr, defensive coordinator, for the Ravens, youngest defensive coordinator in the league. He's done a great job with that defense. I mean, all pro guys like, not Patrick Queen, Roquan Smith and Kyle Hamilton. I like the young rookie they have in Nate Wiggins, who lines up at defensive back number 2, outside of Marlon Humphrey, who's an all pro himself, Pro Bowler, say the least. And not only those guys, like I said, they have a really good roster from top to bottom. The offensive line, they're physical, they're big, they're good in the run game, which is great for Derrick Henry, man. I mean, Derrick, and of course, that was been the missing piece right there. But the biggest thing, Lamar Jackson has evolved as a passer. And that was the detrimental part to watch about this game, because even without Zay Flowers, people were saying, well, maybe Lamar's going to struggle and this, that, and the third. Look, he didn't throw much, but he was efficient when he did. He completed 16 out of 21 of his passing attempts, threw for about 178 passing yards, and had 1 touchdown, no interceptions. No interceptions. As perfect can get. I mean, no need to throw the ball when you have Derrick Henry who ran 10 times for 126 rushing yards and had a touchdown. 2 of them, you guys. And think about that. I remember back in the day when we used to watch the Steelers. We used to watch the Steelers play. It used to be something about Pittsburgh, man, that really, they used to bring that real grit. They used to be a team. I remember watching Steelers teams led underneath Mike Tomlin, not allow a single 100-yard rusher for a whole entire season. Derrick Henry had 100 rushing yards on a Pittsburgh Steelers defense in the first half. On a Mike Tomlin-led defense. And look, we can talk about the offense all we want to. Look, and y'all, first of all, this comes as no shocker. I told you guys this. We should have known Pittsburgh was going to lose this game. I mean, it was over when they flew out to Baltimore, Maryland. I mean, we knew they weren't going to win this game. Think about it, you guys. They came in like a dead, like a dog that's been shot. A dog that's limping, that's in need for urgent care. I mean, they came in limping. They came into the postseason on a 4-game losing streak, and you were going to expect to win. Like, think about it. Statistically, you lose 4 straight games in the NFL in a row. Statistically, off that alone, you're not even supposed to even make the playoffs. But what Pittsburgh does is, they fooled everybody, as we all know. Won all their games, beat up on all the teams that were going to be top 10, drafting top 5, top 10 in the draft this year, like the Giants, the Jets, and teams like a young Washington Commanders team early in the season, the Raiders. Come on now. That ain't nobody. Come on, the Denver Broncos, the Falcons, they had a real cupcake schedule. And then when you have to play against the real superior of the elite teams, they look like frauds. Has not won a single game since that Philadelphia game I told you guys about. Currently on a 5-game losing streak. Season's over. I mean, again, I say Pittsburgh came in like a dog limping. Ow, ow, ow. Come on now. Y'all should have known they were going to get bounced out. But the biggest thing to me is like I said, it's not that
There will be clouds and clouds.
Sorry about that. I'm sorry about that, Miss Sarah, and the communication and the technical difficulties. But yeah, you guys, like, come on now. How can you expect to beat anybody? You can't expect to beat nobody like that. Come on now. Like, again, and it's not that they went out. It's how they went out. It's how the Steelers went out. It's what's really bothersome to me because, you know, they didn't even compete, man. They didn't even compete. Russell Wilson, again, the offense, like I said, they converted 5 out of 14 of their third down attempts. The time of possession, lost that by a mile. Only 20 minutes of time of possession. Baltimore Ravens had 38 minutes of time of possession with the football. Did whatever they want. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Russell Wilson, I mean, like I said, it's hard. Like I said, we got to find somebody to blame. I'm going to tell you that now. And I know people, like, again, I say a lot of y'all are calling for Mike Tomlin's job and this, that, and the fourth. And I understand y'all want to see him gone. I do understand that, rightfully so. I mean, I know y'all tired of just the straight losing seasons and this, that, and the third. And, you know, things not changing and settling for being mediocre. I understand that. That's a right to be upset. That's a right to have your complaints. But, guys, Steelers fans, y'all have to ask yourself, and I know it's frustrating, but who are y'all seriously going to find better than Mike Tomlin as an option, as a coach? I mean, who's better out there? Who are y'all going to replace him with? Because there are 21 teams who are lining up to get Mike Tomlin. And the problem is, to me, like I said, there's no weapons on the outside. There's no weapons on the outside. Russell Wilson, outside of George Pickens, there's not a superior, a bona fide number 2 receiver. I've stated that over and over again. Guys can't get open. Guys don't want to. You see what I'm saying? Najee Harris all of a sudden can't run. Below 30 rushing yards from Najee Harris. Couldn't get the run game going. Again, I say it's deep shot or nothing. The Steelers offense came out with some life in the second half, man. They did do that. But, again, like, come on now. They're throwing the ball up to George Pickens, making contested catches. Van Jefferson on a double move, deep ball. You know, last play, I mean, on their Steelers' last drive, they had a chance to possibly put up 21 points, make it a game, make it down 1 score. On a 4th down and 13, I believe, y'all got to put up on the screen. What is Russell Wilson doing? Dude, you don't always have to go for deep shots. You don't know how to look over the middle of the field? Oh, that's right, you can't see over the middle of the field. Taking a deep shot, throws it up for a prayer with 3 Ravens on little Calvin Austin instead of going for George Pickens. That's the best guy. And then when George Pickens makes reactions like this and makes comments like this after the game when being asked, or how do you feel optimistic, George, about going to the season? George, how optimistic are you? He say, nah. And y'all want to call him crazy. I mean, listen to George.
Yeah, I seen signs of growth for sure. From past, the first year I've been here, just way more growth for sure.
George, does that make you optimistic going forward?
Nah.
Ask yourselves, would y'all be optimistic? I mean, seriously, would y'all be optimistic knowing that you're playing for a franchise that has the same way, same philosophy, same old, never change? Like I said, there has to be some changes made in Pittsburgh ASAP because this franchise can't keep going through this. I remember when you used to play the Pittsburgh Steelers, win, lose, or draw, regardless of how it used to go, you used to feel that team. I'm going to tell you guys that now. And for those that watch, you used to feel that team. Team full of legends. Franchise has 6 Lombardi trophies, 6 Super Bowls. A team that's an organization that's only had 3 head coaches in its entire existence in the National Football League. Since the NFL was even created, since the Steelers' time of existence as a franchise in the National Football League, they've only had 3 head coaches. That lets you know about the stability right there. This is embarrassing. It is embarrassing. It's one thing again to lose, but it's one thing not even compete in a playoff game. 6 years in a row, Mike Tomlin. 6 years in a row. You still ain't advanced. You still got bounced out in the wild card. You have not won a playoff game since 2016. We're approaching almost 2 decades. I mean, you're dang right. The standard is the standard, bro. Come on, man. What's the standard? There is no standard no more here in Pittsburgh. It's not. Ain't no standard up there in no Pittsburgh, and the fans will tell you the same thing. What, just getting to the playoffs? What's the point of even getting to the playoffs if you're just going to get bounced out in the first round every year? You might as well tank, take a losing season like you don't want to do. Take a losing season. Take a losing season and see if you can get you a Travis Hunter type player, a Cam Ward, Shadoux Sanders, somebody like that in the draft. Get you a franchise caliber player who you can build around, specifically at the quarterback position, which y'all have not had no stability since the Ben Roethlisberger days. Come on now, Pittsburgh. It's just hard to watch y'all like this, especially against a divisional rival. It used to be no matchup like Pittsburgh-Baltimore football. AFC North ball, baby. AFC North ball, baby. Didn't feel that way this past Saturday. If you would have told me that was an AFC North game, I would have been like, huh? Can't happen. Can't happen. And then again, and last thing to be said, you guys, and y'all Steelers fans, y'all guys let me know. Y'all guys let me know about would y'all want Russell Wilson back? Would y'all like to see Russell Wilson back in the black and gold? Or would y'all like to see him and Sierra go ahead and pack their stuff up and get on the heck on up out of here before y'all run him up out of town? I want to ask you guys, y'all answer that question for me down in the comment section down below. I'm curious to see y'all opinion, because then again, who are y'all going to get better between Justin Fields and Russell Wilson? I mean, y'all going to be picking high. Y'all made the playoffs, so it ain't like I'm going to be able to get a shot at one of those cornerstone changing players. So I do want to know that. And another thing for me is, and like I said, man, here's why, me personally, the change has to start. Rather if you bring Mike Tomlin back, or rather if you bring him back or not, you got to get rid of the quarterback. You got to get rid of Russell Wilson. Rather you bring back Justin Fields, let him have the keys, develop him, but just it's not really. And don't get me wrong. Again, I say, you guys, I said this to y'all in the summer. Russell Wilson's a great guy. He's one of those guys, I love you want your kids hanging around. A guy who you want your kids to look up to as a good influence, a great role model system, a guy who could really be a politician. Seriously. Always carries himself in the right manner, always a great showing, etiquette, always being a good team player, great sportsmanship. But, man, when you hear him say things like this.
Score was 21-0. The easy thing to do is check out, and we didn't. And so I think, our aggressiveness and our mentality in the second half obviously showed up in a big way. Guys were making great plays. I'm proud of the guys we have. Like I mentioned, George Pickens made some special plays. Proud of Van. I'm proud of, I think, Cal.
Brother, you not pissed off? Like, seriously, do you get pissed off? Dude, all the good boy act, the good stuff, dude, come on, man, you got to get pissed off. You got to be Russ. This is your first time back in the playoffs since your second to last year in Seattle, which is what I want to say. Yeah, since you haven't been to the playoffs since this year. Since before this year, prior, your last appearance in the playoffs was in 2020. You didn't go your last year in Seattle. You didn't go your 2 years in Denver. You came here to Pittsburgh. That's 3 years already, man. You ain't been, and you ain't been winning for quite some time. And you're on a 1-year deal, and you're playing for your season. And these last 5 games are going to indicate a lot, or rather if you were going to be back here in the black and gold, or rather if you was going to be gone, or rather if you can win this franchise over, Russell Wilson. That's what it was going to be dependent upon. And the way you've played, going 0-5 in the last game, and talking like, oh, man, we're going to get them next time, man. I love the black and gold. It means a lot to me, man. Like I said, I want to be here, man. I want to, dude, there's no such thing as no next time. You've been saying, like, that. Stop with that stuff. Stop. There's no such thing as no next time. You only getting older, and as hard as this ain't the NBA. This ain't the NBA where you can go back 4 times in a row. Because this is the NFL. One and done, year in and year out. You got one shot. One thing can go wrong, season's over. And you talking about you've been saying we're gonna get them next time since your last appearance in the Super Bowl 8 years ago. When you threw the ball in the red zone instead of giving it to Marshawn Lynch, you ain't been back to the Super Bowl since then. And what you've been saying since then, we're going to get them next time. We're going to be back. You haven't been back. You haven't been back. It's been a downward spiral. Get out of that mindset. Y'all, and that goes for anybody. Seriously, you have to approach these games, especially games of this magnitude, whether you're at the high school, college level, at pro level, regardless. You have to look at it. You don't have another chance. It's one time and this could be your last dance. Last day. Ain't no such thing as no next time. Like I said, that's not what being a Steelers about. Like I said, man, the guys quit on each other. I knew that game was over when I seen All-Pro Minka Fitzpatrick, been a long time safety in that backfield for Pittsburgh for a long time, get absolutely boo to the chest by Derrick Henry. Absolutely, that's when I knew this ain't gonna be a good night for Pittsburgh right there. If that's how y'all gonna come out and play, guys don't want to tackle. See Patrick Queen sitting over there looking. I know y'all guys ain't scared to tackle. I know y'all. I mean, guys don't want to tackle. Y'all guys are getting. Last time I checked, every single one of y'all men are getting paid. Y'all go tackle that big son of a dude. Guys ain't want to do it. Guys ain't want to get physical. Hope y'all ain't scared. Y'all grown men. Shouldn't no grown man be scared of nothing besides but being dead broke and burning in hell. Period. Come on, somebody better make a tackle on that, man. And just stuff like that, man. It's just, well, I can go on and on. Y'all get the point. Like I said, I'm going to wrap up this video. And then again, y'all stay tuned later this week, you guys. I'm going to be bringing y'all guys a preview this week for the divisional round games between, of course, the Lions and the Commanders, the Chiefs and the Texans, of course, the Bills and the Ravens, and the Los Angeles Rams and the Philadelphia Eagles. Y'all guys stay tuned. I'm going to be giving y'all a preview, giving y'all my inside predictions, who I think win, who takes it, all that good stuff, you guys. And y'all guys let me know what y'all think and what y'all want to hear next in the comment section down below. And y'all guys also let me know too, what do y'all make about the Pittsburgh Steelers season? Should Mike Tomlin go? That's the question I want y'all guys to spam. That's the answer I want y'all guys to spam in the comment section down for me, you guys. Y'all guys let me know, would y'all bring Mike Tomlin back? Would y'all not? Another non-losing season, but another year in a row of getting bounced out in the wild card round. Changes have to be made. We're settling for mediocre. We can't be mediocre. We have to have a winning mindset in whatever we do, and that's just not been the Steelers right now. It's just like they've been playing just for that winning season, and you got to play for more than that. It's it's about playing for championships. But I'm gonna wrap up this video, you guys. Y'all guys let me know what y'all want to hear next in the comment section down below. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like, comment, subscribe button as we on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I cannot get there, you guys, without y'all love and support. And I will see y'all on the next episode on Shooting for the Stars podcast, you guys, with y'all's one and only host, Cameron Williams.